start this thing.
Okay. Well, before you even get up there, you gotta have on a lab coat, and you gotta have closed-toed shoes on, jeans, and make sure that your hair is nice and whatever.
So girls, have it up in a ponytail. Don't let it be in your face.
And then you're gonna walk up there, sit the cage down on the ground, and then you're supposed to pick up your rabbit, hold it like a football, like this, up to the judge.
You forgot some.
Oh yeah. You gotta latch the cage out there.
You want to latch the cage while you're still holding your rabbit, though. So do it. Hold the rabbit and latch the cage. Show them.
Like this. Yeah. You kind of want to get an easy cage to latch so it's not too hard.
Speak up. Speak up.
And then different breeds have like different poses. So a Polish is compact, so you want to like squish it kind of. Yeah, for the rabbit breed, and you want to make sure that you have eye contact with the judge and that you're speaking up loudly. So next, you're gonna want to check your rabbit's ears. You're gonna want to check the left one and read the tattoo in that, and then the right one and the same thing. And then you want to grab your rabbit and then flip him over like this. Make sure that he's kind of spread out so you can tell where all the body parts are at. And you're going to want to start from the head. So you're going to want to check his eyes, his nose, his teeth, and then move on to the legs. Make sure.
Keep going. Keep going.
And then you're gonna like just go like this with them to show that his legs aren't broken. And then his toenails, you're gonna want to make sure that those are cut before you start. And if there is something wrong with one of the toenails or his legs, you're gonna want to tell the judge. Then you're gonna go on to the belly. You're gonna feel everything and tell the judge what you're feeling and like the ribs and his belly area. Then you're gonna want to check the rear feet and then the toes, and if there's anything wrong with those. And then you're gonna want to check the tail and show them that there's nothing wrong with it. And then you're going to flip him back over. And you're going to want to show the judge the fly of your rabbit and how clean your rabbit is. And what else? How do you do the evaluate? Is that you or the judge? I forget.
That's you.
Okay.
You would do it too.
So I think you're supposed to like show the judge everything, like the head, the ear canal, and his shoulders and ribs, and tell him which one you're doing. And then after that, you're going to want to pose him again like this, or whatever your breed is, and then show all four sides of him to the judge like this. And then you're going to want to pick up the rabbit again like a football, open the cage, sit him back in there, and then this, and then you can ask the judge if he has any questions for you or anything, and yeah, and he might answer your questions or whatever he has to say.
And as you're showing the parts, you're supposed to be saying what they are.
Yeah.
So we'll go back over a couple things. But yes, okay, so he went over a very, very quick demonstration, okay? Thank you. Okay, now we're gonna go over a few things, but yes, that was good. One of the things that he didn't necessarily say, come here, buddy, is when he's going through and looking at all the different parts, like he was looking at the paw, like the paws and stuff, you want to be naming special parts of the animal. So you want to name the dew claw. What's the dew claw? Anybody? What's the dew claw?
It's like a thumb.
Very good. It's like a thumb. So when he was flipped over, hey, I will win this battle. When he's flipped over, right, and you're showing the judge the front feet, right, you would want to mention that dew claw, okay? Don't be getting in trouble over here.
I'll try not to.
You'll try. At least you were honest. Okay, so let me see this again. Let me see this paper. Okay, so proper removal from carrier and cage, yes. Now, make sure this is something that sometimes kids will do when they're starting showmanship. After you get it out and you leave the cage, some of them will leave the cage open and they'll set the rabbit down and then they'll go back to shut the cage. You don't want to do that because that leaves the rabbit free to possibly run and get away, right? So you got to make sure that you're still holding the rabbit like a football when you close the carrier. So there's one mistake that we see a lot of 4-H'ers make, right? Okay, so as far as the pose for the correct breed, he's right. This is a compact rabbit, so you kind of want to scrunch it up. But not all compact breeds, you don't want to scrunch up all compact breeds, right? Can anybody think of a compact breed you wouldn't necessarily want to scrunch up? It's good, yeah. Netherland Dwarf would be one. Netherland Dwarf is compact, and they look a little bit like Polish, so they look like him. But a Netherland Dwarf should be, like, their front should be raised up a little bit, right? They should be almost like prancing with their front feet. What's another breed that's like that? Anybody else? What? I think the Hoto, I don't think so. I think the Hoto poses like, that's a good guess. But I think the Hoto poses pretty much like a Polish.
So
No?
is the
Mine had
what's
mine,
the-
but
what is the dwarf pavillon? Is
yeah,
it
I think it might pose up a little bit. Holland Lops also pose up a little bit, right? So you'll want to look at the standard of perfection to see what the proper pose is for your breed, okay? All right, so then he was checking the ears. The other thing, like when you're checking the ears, and he's right, you need to read the tattoo. You also need to say that there is, a county tag in the right ear, okay? But one of the things that you want to say when you're looking at the ears and when you're exposing the ear to the judge, not only are you looking for the tattoo, what else could you possibly be looking for in a rabbit's ear? Ear mites, exactly. So that's one of the things that you might want to say is that it's a clean ear. There's no mites. There's no like red marks, scabbing, anything like that. Okay, and that's where the use correct terms and the reasons come in. Okay, then lift and turn. Now, this is something that a lot of new members struggle with, and the lift and turn. It's really easy for this guy because he's done this so much that you just kind of. Right? But doing that is not proper. And most animals are not going to do this, right? He's just an old pro. But to lift and turn, and this is where a lot of 4-H'ers struggle too, when they're still learning to hold their animal, you grab them by the ears. And some people will just grab with both ears between their thumb and their first finger and then put the hand on the butt and flip them over. I tend, depending on how big the ears are, with this guy, I might just grab, like I just described. But when a rabbit's got big ears, a lot of times I'll put my finger between the ears. It just gives me personally, I feel like I have a little bit more control that way. But you put your fingers around the ears like this, but you never, ever, ever pull up on the ears. That's not where we're supporting the rabbit here, okay? What you want to do is put your hand under the rabbit's butt, and then you're going to push the butt or push the weight of the rabbit forward and flip. You're never, ever putting or pulling all the rabbit's weight by the ears, okay? All of his weight is supported right here. It's just I'm controlling him by his ears. Think about a horse with reins, right? Well, the rabbit's ears are the reins, right? That's how we're controlling him, but we're not supporting his weight by those ears, okay? All right, now I'm right-handed, so I picked him up with my right hand on his ears. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put his butt on the table, and I'm just going to do a real smooth transition so that my left hand is on his ears and I can use my right hand to do everything I need to do because I'm right-handed, right? Okay. So here in a little bit, if any of you guys want to practice the lift and turn, if you're not real experienced with that yet, he's a good one to practice on because he's little and he's real chill, okay? So he would be a good one to practice on maybe here in a little bit. Okay, you check the eyes, which is good. Why would we check the eyes? What are we looking for? Gunk. Yeah, good. Is that what you were going to say? What were you? You forgot. That's okay. So yeah, gunk is what we're looking for. A lot of times when rabbits start, think about when you sneeze, right? And you guys have allergies, right? You start sneezing, you get stuff in your eyes too, like your eyes start watering, all that kind of stuff. So when you check the eyes, and you can take your thumb and your first finger, and you're not like prying the eye open really wide, right? Just gently, and you shouldn't be up like this, you should be down on the table. But he's just kind of lifting himself up for me. But you just gently open the eye. Don't pry it open really fast, really hard, just gently. And you can say that you're looking for any kind of discharge, right? Because it could be a sign of allergies, it could be a sign of snuffles, right? And snuffles is pretty deadly for rabbits. Any upper respiratory infection is pretty deadly for rabbits. So you would want to do that for both eyes. And when you're just turning them from one side to the other, you can just put both hands under the belly like this and turn. You know, you don't ever, I've seen some people do this. And I'm gonna show you how they hold him, but I'm gonna support him by his belly. Some people will grab right here and then turn, right? Don't do that during showmanship. That's not the proper way to turn an animal. You want to put your hands under the belly and support there, and then just turn that way. If you grab by the scruff of the neck, and I've been guilty of it too, especially when I've got an animal that is not easily controlled, right? But what that does is that loosens that skin right there, and it can bruise the rabbit, okay? So you don't want to, make sure you don't do that on the table, because the judge, I'm sure, will comment on that, okay? All right, so you did show that, that's good. Check both nostrils. Again, why are we checking both nostrils? Gunk, yeah, snot, right? The gross stuff. So same thing, right? And if you need to at this point, you can have him flipped over, and you can have him flipped over to do the eyes too, right? Just gently. I think you're supposed to do it that way. He was just kind of holding himself up for me. So this is the way that you would do it, right? Is have him flipped over. Then you would also show the nose, right? And you, again, just gently open the nostril, and you're looking, again, for nasal discharge, right? The gunk. And then he talked about the nose, or not the nose, you do the teeth next, right? So you would show the teeth. How should the teeth be?
Top over bottom.
Top over bottom, exactly. And if they're not top over bottom, if they're the other way, what's that mean?
Go up into the nose.
It goes up into the nose. What's that disease called? It's okay. It's a difficult disease to say. Spell. Malocclusion. Yep. So you can mention that. Say the teeth are top over bottom, and if they weren't that, it'd be malocclusion, which is a genetic disorder, right? So you can mention that. The legs. Okay. So he did a good job of talking about the nails and checking the legs. But why do you check the legs?
Make sure they're not broken.
Make sure they're not broken, but what else? How do rabbits bathe themselves? Yeah, right? They lick their front paws. You scared me. Oh. They lick their front paws, and then they go like this, don't they?